G'day and welcome to another episode. My name is Daethstro, the Aussie Geek, and today we are looking at the power of the Prime's Hun-Gurrr. So this is the last of our Terracons before we get onto the combining mode. And as you can see, he does look really good, although I will admit combined mode is a little bit hampered due to how this figure's shoulders work, which we'll get to when we get to combined mode. If you notice at all that there might be a couple of gaps in his shoulders, that's because I've spent a good portion of the time trying to tighten and strengthen those shoulders, but to no luck. But he is a fine-looking figure, although the ankles are a little iffy. Actually, it's got a screw in there. I know I've just started the review, but just out of pure curiosity, because I know I've been having trouble when I was trying to... Yeah, I don't want to do too much. How'd that go? Not really. Still really loose. So it's not pinned. But yeah, so those ankles are a little bit iffy, but if you get him standing right, you're usually pretty good. As you can see, he comes with his weapons, which are, of course, the combiner mode feat. He does not come with his proper blaster, nor does he come with the proper blaster for Abominus. So, unfortunately, all you have is basically his legs. You can see a big old bit of pink on the back there. So, there we go. He does look good. I will give you that. I was looking forward to this figure, so I was really happy that I got him. So, of course, when it comes to the legs, they just use here to plug onto here. So, we'll just get rid of those for the moment because we don't really need them. Whoop. Also, his knees don't really lock into place, which is a problem more in robot mode than anything else. So there we go. I didn't spot, unless they're hiding somewhere, I didn't spot any Titan Master pegs. So I might have to just keep my eyes open for that. So yeah, but he does look good. We will have to eventually do some modifications to him slightly for combined mode for the upgrade kit, but we'll get to that when we get to it. But let's get down to articulation. Head can kind of do a full 360. Looks up a little bit, looks down more. I think it's actually because there we go. I was going to say my head's not quite in the right spot. So looking down, looking up, not so much. Not really wiggle. Arms do a full 360, even though that's ratcheted, not quite enough. Arms go out this far. He has bicep rotation. He has friction elbows. Wrists do nothing. Fingers do nothing. Now, I said this in the Ripper Snapper, I think video was, that he didn't have a waist, and I just found some pegs. But this guy really does not have waist. If you lift this up, which is transformation, there's nothing there. There's nothing at the crotch. He has no waist swivel. Legs go up that far. Go back this far until you hit the backpack. Leg goes out that far. It's a very soft ratchet. You can just hear it. He has upper thigh rotation. There's no ball joint at that hip. Legs go back that far, but if you start fiddling with this, you can get it that far back if you start bending things. You do have slight ankle tilt at the dragon heads. They can go up that far, and they can go that far back. So there we go. And then just a matter of getting him to be situated again. So there we go. He does look good. I will say that much. He does look good. So that is one thing I cannot say negatively about this figure. He does look good, even though his arms are massive and his thighs are tiny. So it is what it is. Also, the fact that everything's... I wouldn't say loose, but there's just a lot of friction. You know, there's nothing there. I could tighten that up. I'm pretty sure that wouldn't tighten that up. That's a pin through there, so that's really tight. But yeah, there's a lot of friction here. I do know that if you really look at him, he has the, I'm going to call it the Silverbolt body type. I know a lot of the Combiner Wars bots, excluding probably the likes of like Hotspot and Onslaught, did sort of use a slight variation on the mold. Like even Cyclonus, and I want to even say like the likes of I want to say Computron, but that's not his name. You know, they all basically used a very similar body type, like I said, except for the likes of Onslaught and Hotspot used a slightly variation, but everything else was pretty much designed or molded from, Silverbolt. So you can definitely tell it in here. So, but of course, the transformation is different because he doesn't transform into jet; he transforms into a monster. So let's get the transformation underway. So first things first, I'm just going to lift up this tail, and you're going to pull very carefully. There is this hinge here. Oh, actually, it's up here. It's a pin up here. Just pull that down, and you can fold that head in if it doesn't want to do it already. Flip them back up. There's 2 pegs here. We can lift that up, and we're going to push these tail spikes, and that will reveal the ones on the other side. And it sort of has a locking point here, and there's sort of like a slight nubbin in there, but I'm not quite sure where it is because it doesn't quite go all the way into here. All right, so for the back legs, we're going to bring this down. You're going to bring the paw all the way up until it clicks, and then you can angle that how you wish. Same on the other side. Now, there's one thing that I haven't said about the Terracons is, honestly, they're very, very close to their G1 transformation. They really are. There's obviously some slight changes, but for the most part, they're pretty much identical to their G1 transformation. So this is going to flip out and then rotate down, and that's your forelegs. Same on the other side. So we have that there. I might have to drop the camera a little bit. There we go. Now, easy for the legs. You're going to flip over what was his knee covers, basically, and these fill in these gaps. For some reason, this one's tighter on mine. I don't know why. You want to just angle those however you want. Of course, angle the legs and that so he's going to stand flat. And just close up those mouths. There is a slight, it feels like a soft ratchet in there somewhere, but I'm not quite sure where it is. And there is Hun-Gurrr in his monster mode. And I've always loved Hun-Gurr's monster mode. G1, Power of the Primes, I've always loved it. I really, really have. Like I said, for the most part, the transformation is very, very similar. The only difference is, and unfortunately mine's not in any complete state, the only real difference between this and the G1 is that these would, ironically, you probably actually do it. These would fold back this way, so it would sit in here, and this tail would actually come, whoops, didn't see any of that. So this would fold back, and this would come back down here, because obviously it has the combined mode chest piece. Yeah, that's not going to quite do it. But it does look cool, although I will say I think the dragon heads are a bit big, or his body is a bit small, and that tail is really too small. It really, really is. All the rest of them have pretty reasonable proportions, even Blot. But honestly, I feel like there's too much head, not enough body. But what can you do? So it honestly doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look too bad. But yeah, I just would have liked to have a bit more body. As for Titan Master Pegs, I've just noticed these two when we were looking at it before. So we have those two. And I thought we might have found a few more, but not so much. So yeah, you can at least put 2 on either side of here. Although I don't know how that would go straddling that spike, because I think it's a bit too far. I'm pretty sure I'm right. Because if you use wind blades yeah, it's not reaching. So there we go. As for our size comparison, here he is with, of course, Windblade. So if you just straighten out the heads, I'll lift the camera up a little bit. Straighten out those heads. He really is way longer, but everything else, pretty average. So there we go. And of course, if you really, really want to, you can take these and plug them back on there if you want. Now, as for articulation in this mode, I suppose you could say it's got a bit of a tail wag if you want to unpeg it from where it pegs. The front forelegs do a full 360, but there's nothing at the knee, there's nothing at the foot or the toes. Obviously, the back legs can do a full 360 and all that good stuff because it's obviously the combiner limbs, the robot limbs. The animal heads can, of course, be cut due to the fact that their the legs can go out that far. We do have a sort of low neck, I suppose you call it, head rotation there. You can, of course, actually get it a bit lower with those transformation joints, or you can even try to get it up higher. So it depends on how you want to situate it. Heads themselves do go side to side. You can open the top head all the way due to transformation and the bottom further. So you can get like a huge maw. Due to that tilt, you do get head this far up and that far down. So there is that. So there we go. All right. Now, unlike the other figures, he only has one combine mode. I think it would have been a bit extreme if they'd managed to get more than one out of this guy. So what we're going to do is we might as well start with the bottom. So what we're going to do is, I say to start the bottom, and then I'm like, hang on, I got a few things I got to do yet. All right, so we're going to try to pull this out the best we can. There we go. And there is our combine head. Put the camera up a little bit. We're going to split the legs like so and bring all that up. And then what we're going to do is we're going to compress the monster spikes again and just bring that up. We're going to bring the arms down. And what we want to do is there's a hinge here. You're going to flip that out. You can, if you want, unpeg that, but you don't really have to. Straighten that up as much as you can and rotate like so. And do the same on the other side. So flip that up, rotate. If you want a little bit more flatness, I suppose you could call it, you can just pull that out and then bring all that up. And there is a slight locking point for those thighs that I almost forgot. So unpeg that. I've done it with the other side. I might as well do it with this one too. So there we go. So that is what locks your legs into place. All right, so we're going to bring this down, these down, I should say, and it's going to go, well, they'll want to go back into here, but not quite yet. You're going to unpeg this, so it plugs into here. That's going to all come up, and that is then going to plug into here. Like so. And then what we want to do is we'll leave the legs for last. What we're going to do is then we're going to do the monster heads. You're going to flip those in all the way. And where are we? You're going to rotate at the hip like so. I don't think it really matters because the thing's going to cover up anyway. And you're just going to bend here. And what's going to happen is this is going to plug into here, if you can see it. So it's sort of at a bit of an angle. So yeah, I will need to get just that rotated because we're going to need that joint. So this is going to come up and plug in the side. Pretty relaxed like. And then, where are we? We need to get this into here, and I think I've slightly got my head on a weird angle. Oh, there we go. That's what I haven't done. So you've got these two pegs here. They're going to go into the sides here. So you might have to articulate that side bit, and hopefully just push the head in further if you haven't already, which I didn't. Just get that plugged in the side. That'll push up. So it sort of creates this it goes flat here. So if you see here, it's flat. So then you can take your monster foot, and that's going to just tab in to there. And I'll do the same on the other side. So flatten that as far as it'll go. We want to get that hinge like that. But at the same time, we want to get this all like this. And what we'll do is we'll try to get this in first, because that sort of helps out. So try to get that down, bring that up, and line that up. I've got one side in, I haven't got the other. There we go. And then you can give it a push on the shoulders to make sure it goes under the neck. Bring this up, tabs into there. And we're almost done. We'll raise the camera just a little bit. See if I can get it to unlock itself. And then almost done. You're going to come back here and you're going to flip up his antennas, aerial, his horns, whatever you want to call them. And there is Hun-Gurrr in his combine mode. Now this is sort of a soft plastic, and you will notice I have a bit of seam here. When we get into combine mode, I will explain why. But yeah, it does look pretty good, although I will say, and it's one thing that the upgrade kit fixes, I don't like this. I like the solid purple chest piece. No, that's all right. I was going to say I missed a step, but I didn't. I'll explain why in a second. So there we go. So we might as well do a little bit of articulation. Head can do a full 360. Neck is not going up, down, left, or right. That is just this table joint, whatever you want to call it. Legs can do a full 360, but chest piece gets in the way. Goes out that far. We do have upper thigh, which I kind of wish would lock. But we can't do anything else until we've actually gone into combine mode. Now, there is one accessory I haven't shown yet, which is you can fold this down, and I know it's a bit empty. It comes with this, which from everything I've read, because the box is in storage and I didn't get it out before this review, all I've heard this called is the Enigma. That's it. This is their combination, Enigma of combination. Doesn't have a name and does not transform. It's just a square. So all that does is slides in there, plugs in, fold that up. Now, if you want, of course, you can put them in the holes, but that's up to you. But let me know, because I've only got Predaking, Devastator, and Abominus. Let me know if the other combiner leaders actually had Enigmas of combination. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. So, yeah, let me know in the comments if that's the case. All right, so let's get this guy transformed back into robot mode, and then we can do final size comparisons. So we're going to flip the ears down as far as they'll go. We want to unpeg these pieces. We want to, they're a bit tight, but unpeg those. Come out. Oh, gotcha. Unpeg those. You want to untab the chest piece and bring all that down. And just to give these the clearance, since we're not going to use them in robot mode, we're just going to bring them down. And we're going to rotate them here, and they're just going to go into this little gap here. So that will put them away because we don't need them in robot mode. We're going to bring the tail down to give that a bit of clearance. You're going to fold it here, and there's a pin up here. So fold, and in it goes. Give it a click, and then I'll have fun trying to get that back out later. All right, we'll rotate it this way. We can bring the tail down for now because we'll get all the rest of this done and then we'll get the head out. So we're going to bring the leg down, rotate it, reach in here and flip out his foot. And you're going to use the monster head, if I can get the jaws open, to get, there we go, to give him his flat foot, which is best. Down, around. I try to get this up as high as possible, but it is what it is. And of course, if you really want to, you can flick this up and that will fill in that gap. And we'll do the same on the other side. Bring that head out. Hopefully, yep, you can get the jaw this time. The heel is sturdy. I will say that's loose, but the heel is tight. You're going to bring the arms down. You can probably bring them out a little bit if you need a bit of clearance. You're going to rotate, and you're going to bring the hand in, and it just sort of sits in place. And then you can bring the paw back, rotate, bring it in, bring it back, and almost done. We'll just let the dragon tail for a little bit. Bring this down. There's a little nub in here to make it help you easier. Bring that up, and you want to tab this into there. I think it's probably why mine keeps moving, because my tail doesn't quite, it lines up, but you know, you move the tail and all of a sudden things move. See, I moved that there and his head went down. So it's because of, you need that tail flat to line it up perfectly. So there we go. And we'll arm him up with his weapons for the moment. There we go. There he is, all armed up. And now let's do some size comparisons. So starting off the bat, here he is with MP10. So he's a, I want to say he's old leader. So he's about just under Prime's windscreens. But yeah, I'd say he was leader back in the day. Someone can correct me in the comments if you'd like. Now, the fun part. Bring him back a little bit more. If I can get him to stand without him falling over. Bring it over a little bit, because for some reason I'm always off center. I don't know why. Here he is with Cutthroat. Here he is with Sinatwin. Here he is with Blot. And here he is with Ripper Snapper. And there are your 5 Power of the Primes Terracons. So there we go. They are an amazing looking group. Honestly, like I said, their transformations actually are very reminiscent of their G1 counterparts. There is a little hiccup here and there, maybe a lot with Cutthroat's head not quite lining up, and honestly, with Hun-Gurr's dragon heads being a bit too big. But considering the necks basically form his chest plate, what more could you do? So, yeah, next episode, we combine these guys into their Power of the Primes combine mode, and then we will also do their upgrade kit at the same time, and then I can put him back on his shelf. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, give me a thumbs down. I promise you it will not hurt my feelings. Subscribe, ring that bell, leave me a comment, and thanks for watching. I'll catch you later.